So, sixth grade is a very interesting transitional year. You're not yet into girls, but you don't want to share with all your friends that you still set up all the Transformers on one side and all the G.I. Joes on the other. It's one of those years where, as you're growing up, you haven't yet decided what you want to be, and you haven't separated out into the different groups yet. And it's one of those years that the people that sit near you in homeroom are the people that become your friends. Now, my last name is an E, so I was in the second row, and I sat next to a B and a C. These are important, they were in the row beside me. These are important characters. This is Mike and John. And so in sixth grade English, me being an extrovert, John being a person that kind of brings people together, and Mike being kind of an introvert, we decided to work together on an English class exercise that was absolutely phenomenal. This exercise required us to sit in the dark and listen to these audio tapes. For the young people in the audience, these are just how we listen to music before iTunes. And the audio tapes gave us clues to some grand mystery. And there was, people that were characters in the mystery, and there was hints as to what happened, and there's this murder, and you had to kind of try to solve the mystery. And there was no right or wrong answer. There was just this ability for you to creatively think and to craft a story around all this evidence you listened to for weeks and weeks and weeks. And me being the extrovert that didn't quite want to get out, and Mike being the introvert that had a mother that was a cop, and John being the middle person, we felt like we had a really good shot at really winning this thing, right? And so I was the one that always said, no, it's ninjas. It's ninjas that snuck in and killed this person, because I'm a sixth grader and I believe that ninjas killed everyone, or pirates or car chases. And Mike said, no, detective wouldn't do that. My mom works with the police force, and so we wouldn't do that. And John would find a way to balance us. He would find a way for us to incorporate a ninja into the story with a detective or a private eye, and it was wonderful. And as we went on through our sixth grade years we were going through, it was just this great collaboration of guys that would go out and, instead of playing Foursquare on the playground, would just talk about the evidence and try to hash it through our heads and come up with all these grand theories and these conspiracies of what happened. And then one day, the teacher came up to Mike and I, and John wasn't in class, and passed on some pretty unfortunate news that in the wintertime, there was a car accident. John's mom slid on some ice. John was thrown with a car. It was too early for seatbelt laws, and he was killed. And I remember being entirely crushed. This was the glue that held the group together. This was the person that sat beside me in homeroom. This was the person that helped make our story real, made our story happen, made our story passionate and powerful, was able to counteract my belief in ninjas and pirates, and Mike's belief that everything had to be by the book and very cop-like. And he told us we didn't have to finish the story, but we worked on it anyway. And later that week, my mother put me in the only suit I owned and clipped on the only tie that I had. And we got in the car and we drove to the wake. And I couldn't get out of the car. My mother said it was okay. She said it was fine, that I didn't have to go in and say my goodbyes. But I just couldn't get out of the car. I felt like I had to, but I couldn't. And so my mom went in, and I sat in a cold car in the early spring, very similar time to right now, with my clip-on tie and my jacket, and I was stoic. I couldn't bring myself to go. And then in the end, Mike and I tried to finish a story, and we couldn't finish a story. And from that point until almost 15 years later, I never went to another wake. I kept trying, but I couldn't go, because I never was able to say goodbye to my friend, the person that sat beside me. And every year our yearbooks had a picture of him over and over again, of John, right there, so that we could remember him, but I couldn't get to that page in the yearbook. I never could do it. And so my big regret is that sometimes stories don't have great endings. Thank you.